Start recording.
Let's do the thing.
Boop.
Does it say stop recording now?
Yep.
Okay, excellent.
That's what happens.
Alright, come back. Hello and welcome to Scientifically Speaking, and our first ever video episode. It's a very exciting day today because we have a challenge for you all. Look at how excited he is. So,
excited, nervous.
I'm terrified.
Terrified.
This is bad,
Alright,
bad idea.
well, you know us. I'm Dave. This is Zach. He's Shane. Zach, you want to tell us a little bit about what you're going to do today?
So, I'm gonna do the gallon challenge. It's probably a bad
What's the
idea.
gallon challenge?
So I've got this gallon of whole milk. Whole milk.
If he dropped that
Has
and
to
it
be whole
spilled
milk.
everywhere,
Or
I
higher.
cried.
I have 1 hour to consume all of it, and then I have to not vomit for another hour if I make it that far. I'm allowed to pee. We're gonna say that's fine. But you know, I'll have someone monitor me so that I'll briefly throw up a little bit and come back.
I mean, we're gonna like videotape you while you pee, right?
Oh yeah, that works too.
We actually have a camera set up in the bathroom. It's been there for several months, but Shane didn't know. So, because we're in Shane's apartment right now.
Good.
We also decided that we're not going to allow any lactase enzymes or anything like that because either it won't work and it's pointless, or it will work and it's cheating. So, none of that.
Whole milk is 3.1% fat, right?
Yeah, it doesn't actually say, but yeah, it is 3.1% fat. So why am I doing this? I don't know.
That's a good question.
I drink milk a lot.
Because he's a masochist.
Yeah, and I figured I should just do this because it's a thing that exists. So, alright, for reference, I eat like 3,600 to 4,000 calories a day. This gallon of whole milk is 2,400 calories. So that's 2/3 of my daily food intake in an hour.
In the form of liquid,
Yeah.
mostly fat.
Hey, you know what we didn't do? We didn't set up the puke bucket.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
I'll
do
get
that.
on that.
Shane's on it. So,
Important consideration.
Zach will not be alone in attempting such a challenge. I am going to join him doing the gallon of water challenge. And, Mom, before you freak out, yes, you can die, but we actually calculated the lethal dose of water because in high enough volumes, water can actually be toxic. So, according to the material science data sheets, material safety data sheets, right? So, the lethal dose in rats, which, you know, is close enough to humans, is about
If anything,
90
it's better.
milliliters per kilogram of body weight. So, for a 135-pound, 61-kilogram human, like me, the lethal dose of water would be about 5,500 milliliters. A gallon of water is about 3,700 milliliters. So, a little more than half the lethal dose. So I'll be half dead at the end of this.
That seems reasonable.
Zach, the other day, training for the gallon challenge, did the gallon of water challenge. For a 220-pound, 100-kilogram human like Zach, the lethal dose of water would be 9,000 milliliters.
So yeah, I was fine. I drank a gallon of water in under 50 minutes, which is not equivalent to this bad boy because this is filled with fat that's going to plug up my stomach real bad. Listen, Tom, I actually bought some eggnog recently. I'm not going to drink it. So this is terrifying. If it were skim milk, it would be trivial, except that skim milk is disgusting.
And
But it's
not
whole
milk.
milk. Yeah, true. So this is going to be bad.
Water that's lying about being milk. Thank you, Ron Swanson. Go watch
So-
Parks and Rec. It's amazing.
What? Here's another. So
But don't
okay,
stay here.
There was one day
Not now.
where I went to work, and before I hadn't eaten lunch, so I was like, oh, I'll just buy a half gallon of 2% milk and a microwavable burrito. So I went to work and ate it in 15 minutes, all that, and I only had a headache for like half an hour. So I'm like, that's pretty good. That's like 1,700 something calories in 15 minutes, and I didn't die. Like the
True.
most I've ever eaten in a single meal, I think, is like 2,000 calories plus some vegetables and water. So this is definitely gonna be cut it close. The most I've ever consumed in this amount of time, but maybe I can do it.
So here's why we think he might fail. So yesterday.
Wait,
Dave
do we
and
want
I-
to start with our first round of drinks?
Oh,
Yeah,
should we
let's do
start?
that. Let's
Start. Yeah. Okay.
All right,
So
let me
Zach's
just-
going to explain his plan for tackling this challenge.
Let me just-
And my plan for tackling the
Get some
gallon
of
of
this.
water challenge
This-
is that I have no plan.
Oh, you can't actually see inside it, but this. Hopefully you can hear this. Everyone quiet. Yeah, fresh dank milk.
Please, dank is not the right word to use. I really hope dank is never something you use to describe milk.
Got my handy dandy protein shaker.
All right, how is this?
So my goal is to start out with about 32 ounces in the first, like, I don't know. So that's a quart. A quarter of the gallon I'm going to drink in the first, like, 2 or 3 minutes.
I already have to pee.
Then I'm going to
It's like
drink
Niagara Falls over here.
8 ounces every 5 minutes. I'm probably going to, like, sip on it during the 5-minute intervals, not just pound it at the end of 5 minutes. So this will be a good time had by all, I think. Look at that, look at that, look how much of a dent I made without having this.
Pretty good.
Consumed
It's
any
not in
yet.
your stomach yet,
No.
but still.
Alright, are we ready to start this up?
Yeah, I guess so.
Everything is prepared. I got my puke bucket.
Also, water is toxic because it messes with the electrolyte balance of your brain. So I'm gonna probably have some salt at some point. Just either mix it into the water or eat some almonds, or
That's what I
maybe
do.
just dump it directly into my mouth.
I was thinking you gotta sprinkle some like salt on a banana so you get the potassium and the sodium.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We have a lot of salt.
Alright.
Oh yeah, just keep shakers right here.
Well,
Perfect.
That's crazy. Oh, there's more. Good lord. I should pick the close one.
There's a lot of salt.
Alright,
Okay.
so I guess we'll
Alright.
start when it says 207 on the thing.
Sounds good.
We should watch which thing.
On,
so
this one.
excited!
Yeah, on yours. Okay, so 3,
So, 2, 1,
cheers.
go.
Alright, so they have until 3:07 to finish. And then 4:07, they have to maintain it.
Oh, this sucks already.
This is gonna be awesome.
I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself.
Oh, you're really bad at this.
I hate this already. It's so. I've been drinking all day. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know I was gonna do this. Woo! All right.
That's
We
not
are
for
one
yet.
quarter of the way through the
It's not
gallon
for
challenge
yet.
already. Oh, it's not for yet. Okay.
He's literally shaking, just in case you guys can't identify that by the Twitch stream.
Ugh,
Okay.
this is the worst.
So that was the first. So the next drink is in 5 minutes.
Yeah, well,
You
not
don't
quite.
need to break.
I'm gonna consume another 8 ounces before the 5 minutes is up, and then take a 5-minute break.
That is the first of many burps you'll hear on this program.
Yeah, it's gonna be
yeah.
it's gonna be real gassy.
So Dave, you should probably keep drinking that, and I'll explain gastric emptying. So, yesterday, Dave and I did some research on exactly how long it would take for the milk to Zach's. Stop. Because the biggest problem is actually most of the reason that people fail the gallon challenge is that your stomach's just not big enough to hold a gallon of milk all at once. A gallon of water is not that much of a problem because it leaves your stomach and goes into your small intestine very quickly. For milk, we figured out that the rate of gastric emptying...
It is not secretly vodka.
The,
Good guess, though.
The rate of gastric emptying, which is the rate at which the milk will leave his stomach and go into his small intestine, is going to be about 8 calories per minute. Which means by the end of the first hour, when he's done with drinking the entire gallon of milk, about 7/8 of the gallon of milk will still be in his stomach. He will have processed about 480 calories worth of the 2,400 calories of milk that he consumed.
I think the upper limits of stomach expansion, what I read about, is I think it can expand to about 2 liters max.
I saw 4 liters, and I'm
4
going with that.
liters,
That's
okay.
a little more than a gallon.
So he's going the more optimistic route.
The problem is there's so much variance between, like, you know, is the person obese and do they eat all the time? Are they skinny but maybe they're a competitive
I'm
eater?
100% going to fail this.
Do they drink 2 gallons
is
of
the
water
worst.
every day? And that can all affect the size of your stomach and cause it to distend and stretch out more.
Right.
So Zach, for a person who eats a large number of calories all the time, his stomach probably
will be able to
expands more
expand
than
a little
a
bit
normal
more.
person. We'll see.
So, yeah. So, you know, competitive eaters have been like, oh, the gallon challenge, let me just chug 3 gallons of whole fat chocolate milk. I know they throw up afterwards. If they can literally contain that in their stomach for the course of the, I don't know, like 30 seconds it takes them to drink 3 gallons because they're crazy.
Excuse me. That was much less impressive than yours. Oh my.
Careful!
Careful!
Can't force those out.
Wet burps are killer in this game.
Dave would know. He's almost had his first glass
Literally,
of water.
I'm not even a quarter of the way through. I got about
Now,
I got maybe 15 ounces through, and I'm already
So
I
Zach's
already
not wearing,
hate this.
Zach's not wearing his Fitbit, but like I really want you to be able to put it on. It's charging.
I can
And I'm curious as to like how this will affect your heart rate over the course of the 2 hours as it gets more and more stressful for you
It's
to
mostly
drink milk.
charged, so.
All right, let's do it. This is great.
Is there a gallon of coffee challenge?
I'm pretty
You just
sure
immediately pee that all out.
Also, what's a lethal dose of caffeine?
definitely
It's
way,
enormous.
way more than you could ever.
Let's
consume
find
with
out.
coffee.
Okay, probably more. Okay, I don't care that much. Okay, so while Zach talks about this, Shane and I are gonna fill your face with a whole bunch of facts about milk, because milk is super, super interesting.
It's really weird.
It's really bizarre.
It's super weird.
So, milk is a colloid, which means it's what's the exact definition that you got a good
it's
suspension of
suspended? Yeah,
It's a suspension of particles.
solids
Oh, yeah,
suspended in a
particle
fluid.
But so in this case, it's a suspension of milk fat
Mhm.
in the liquid, which is sugar water,
Yes.
lactase and water, and some protein.
Yes.
Which technically means that skim milk isn't milk, because milk by definition is a suspension of milk fat, and skim milk has no milk fat.
Wow.
And so it's
So
literally not milk.
skim milk is actually not milk.
It's not milk.
It's not even like a joke that it's not milk. It actually just isn't milk by definition. Okay. So, the proteins in milk are caseins, and what's the casein allergy? Do people actually have casein
People have
allergies?
casein allergies.
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
thing. So, but that's not quite what lactose intolerance is, but we'll get to that in a bit. Also in milk are calcium phosphate, of course, calcium. There's also fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K found in the milk fat portion of the milk. Lactose itself is a disaccharide sugar made up of glucose and galactose. And that's what people are allergic to in lactose intolerance. How's it going?
I'm at 40 ounces and change, and I feel alright.
He is approximately halfway through
That
the
is
gallon.
not at all the case. That's not
I
how,
guess it's
that's not how volume works, because there's a big old section missing here.
Shut up.
Good. Good. So you're feeling all right.
Yep.
I'm getting overconfident, and I'm trying to stop myself from going too fast right now.
That's probably a good idea.
Don't do that. If you try to rush
There's
it,
no reason to rush it. It's stupid. I have all this time to use.
so much time.
It's all about that strategy. You gotta stick to the strategy.
That's
Yeah,
more than
because
I
you know I'm
accepted.
all about that strat. That doesn't work at all. I'm gonna stop. By the way, we were considering having a music break, but that might not be good because Zach needs to continually do this. But if we did have a music break, we were gonna play my milkshake break, so let's do that.
Were we?
Oh,
Yes.
God. Please no.
We're
Because
not
of
gonna do
course, what the fuck else would
that.
we
I'm pretty
play?
sure we can't do that.
Oh yeah, that might be. The
Whatever!
Worth it.
Someone said that, Tom said that the lethal dose orally for caffeine is somewhere between 50 and 100 shots of espresso, if he recalls correctly.
Holy
Alright,
shit.
that works.
100. That's so many.
So how many gallons of coffee, regular coffee, would that be?
I don't know, Google it.
Fuck you.
You have your phone to calculate.
We're talking about milk here today.
Yeah, but I have coffee.
Shut up,
There's
Ash.
milk in it.
Alright. So, what's next?
Milk is
Go.
fucking bizarre. Let me talk a little bit about the evolution of milk, because milk is a very strange thing that exists. Basically, only mammals have milk, although there are some weird other examples of it.
Okay.
But only mammals have milk because only mammals have mammary glands which produce milk. Hence the name, mammals. Mammary glands,
What?
which...
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's... What? Yeah, that's why they're called mammals. Mammary glands.
Didn't
We're the
think
only
there was a
ones that
connection
have
there
them.
at all.
That's the definition of being a mammal, is hair and mammary glands.
Wow.
I thought it was, live-born young
And fly-born young. But
Yeah,
that's
but there are
there's
mammals that
plenty
don't
of
have
things-
I know.
Yeah,
Which I
and there
never
are plenty
heard
of
that one.
other non-mammals that do have live-born young. So that's
Yes.
even more of an iffy qualifier. It's mammary glands that are the main thing.
Okay.
Basically, the evolution of mammary glands is a really complicated subject, and we're not 100% sure how exactly these really complicated glands evolve. Because think about it. Like, you look at a pair of boobs and you're like, that's just... How? How did that happen? That doesn't seem like somebody just
it's pretty weird.
It's weird, right? So, they originally evolved as skin glands in synapsid, which are kind of, not really dinosaur, because dinosaur is a specific kind of reptile. Anyway, the whole point is, synapsids are our reptilian ancestors. We are technically synapsids, because that's how taxonomy works, but basically, in the same way, we are basically bony fish, but that's a different topic entirely. So, They originally evolved as sebaceous, which means skinned glands in... Feeling alright?
Yeah, I got burps that are trying to sneak up out of me, and
Yeah.
not in the good way.
You would die of. So for coffee,
Don't lean
you
forward
would
too
die
much,
of
that might
water
kill you.
overdose first.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
That makes a lot
for
of
sure. For
sense.
sure, mammals.
Oh,
that
it's
lay
tragic.
some of them.
So Dash just pointed out that for consuming coffee, you would hit the lethal dose of water before the lethal dose of caffeine. That's hilarious. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That totally makes sense, though. Because the lethal dose of water is only like 3 gallons.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so maybe we should get rid of the hashtag pregame.
Oh, yeah, true that.
Because we are no longer pregaming.
Can you
We're
do it?
for sure. No, I can't. Why did I even try?
While Shane's doing that, so, like I was saying, mammary glands originally evolved as sebaceous glands in the skin. Basically, the point of these glands were that they evolved with the evolution of hair follicles, and hair, by extension. Basically, what they were used for was to secrete a fluid that could protect eggs as they were laid. This fluid would cover the eggs and keep them moist, keep them from experiencing rapid temperature changes, and could potentially pass down antibodies to help protect the young. So, as we turn from synapses to therapses to mammalia forms to mammals, it got a little more complicated.
Right.
And these skin glands became more and more complex and more localized. So instead of sort of being, kind of all over and just having like the skin gland that could sort of sweat out everywhere, they developed certain patches that were like mammary patches instead of fully like nipples or breasts or whatever.
Okay.
It's just sort of
It's
patches
sort of
of
like
skin.
a weird soft spot on your chest.
Yes.
That
Um,
sweated more.
In fact, we see this in the embryonic development of monotremes such as short-nosed echidnas. Monotreme are very basal mammals. Basically, okay. Let me explain. So, monotremes are the lowest form of mammals. Basically, they are the most...
So much basil.
Like they're really a very spliced.
Shut up. They are very close to the ancestral mammals because they lay eggs and they don't have very fully developed... I'm not going to do this. I'm going to fail. For sure.
Visual would help. We'll get to that.
So, monotremes such as short-nosed and long-nosed echidnas, and platypuses. Platypodes? Platypi. What's the plural?
Probably just platypuses. You can always do ES for animal names, I think.
Alright.
Because you would know if it's Greek, it's Opodes, or Odes, or whatever.
Podes,
Yeah, and if it's, but it's like, it's not octopodes, it's octopodes. And then...
That's a much more fun word. I like
and
that a lot.
if it were Latin, it would be the I. So, okay, so octopus, right? People are like, oh, octopi? No, octopus is in Latin, not freaking octopi. It's octopuses, which is proper English, or octopodes if you want to go with Greek. Which is, why would you do that?
Which is silly.
Because it sounds fucking awesome, that's why. So, like we said, we had this secretion, and as we evolved to be a little more complex, monotremes, basically, this stuff evolved to be nutritious. So the young could have a meal because we went from sort of having eggs and sort of babies that really couldn't do much to having more precocial young, which means they were more awake, more functional, like deer. They pretty much stand up immediately after they're born, right?
Right.
And so after we did that, we needed some way to feed them quickly. So basically, this fluid evolved to be nutritious and to have sugars like lactose and proteins like casein and fats like milk fat. Wow, that's gonna happen a lot.
Doesn't smell too bad.
Gotta... I mean, it's fresh milk.
It smells a bit like, odor is probably the one thing that we are missing from this. That's the next step in virtual reality. I want to be able to smell where I am.
I watched a thing. I was watching this, there was like a bunch of different virtual reality systems, and one of them was like flying over the city. And you would like lay down on this mechanism that would like move you around, or you could move it around and that would move like how you
That
flew
is
through
sick.
the city. And then they had this little fan that was right in front of you, and they would spray faint mists of scent of the city, which was probably terrible, into your face as you flew.
Ooh,
So
there's
you
a
would,
dumpster down there.
Exactly, like fly through an alley, and it was like, oh, piss, wonderful.
Somebody's doing heroin down there.
Let's see, what else are we gonna do here?
Does heroin smell like anything?
I don't know. It smells like heroin. Oh, thanks, Dave.
Wow, brilliant.
So, it's interesting that we evolved this sort of circulatory system of feeding our young, because lots of other things have to figure out how to feed their young, and they do it in very different ways. Birds, for example. Birds feed their young by eating and then regurgitating it into the mouths of their young. So, also some birds like pigeons produce a sort of crop milk. A crop is like a part of the bird's early digestive system that they swallow rocks a lot to help break up stuff. Produce milk there apparently. I don't know, it's super weird. But basically then they make that and then regurgitate it directly into the mouths of their young. So, think about it this way.
Wait, so do they like? Are they also feeding them with stuff that they ate, and then they also like mix
Google,
milk?
Google
Mix it
smells is real.
Oh dear. So it's both. So they're
They-
adding milk to the food as opposed to like us who just gives milk
Only
solely as the
Yes,
source of
correct.
food for infants for a while.
So, now as you get into the higher mammals. Oh yeah, so, fun fact before we go on, I just want to remind you that because mammary glands evolved from sebaceous glands, milk is essentially modified sweat.
Yum.
So, basically, the more gross facts we can find about milk, the more fun this will be for us, and the less fun it'll be for Zach. So, honestly, the grosser the facts we can find, the better for all of us to enjoy. We have this gorgeous little bucket right
I'm
here.
really
just
excited.
in
We should
case.
have gotten the before
Forward
shot
and
of
after
your
my
stomach.
This is getting so
It's gonna
distended.
be completely like.
It's like a beer gut, but like,
Nope, not as bad. Or it'll go away.
it'll go away. So, as we, grew into more complex mammals, not really close to that. Anyway, the point is, why are breasts the way that they are? We still haven't really answered that question. And to be honest, we don't really know. Lots of other mammals have udders, like cows have this big ass udders.
Other animals. What's the other animal?
Cats and pigs have mammary glands all along their torsos.
Yeah.
Why do humans only have 2 breasts that are, like, pretty much always filled? Most mammals only fill their mammary glands when they're about to give birth. Human females pretty much have full breasts most of the time. Super weird. Thank you.
Oh man.
How you feeling,
My
Zach?
stomach's getting a bit of a stretch in it. Once I finish this, I'll be past a half gallon.
Alright, so we're 16 and a half minutes in.
Yeah.
Good lord.
And you've had much milk that you consumed?
Almost. This will be a half gallon once I finish this.
All right.
thing. So I'll
Okay.
be done with a half
Wow.
gallon before 20 minutes.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good rate, I would say.
Well, the rate is going to be
The
Yeah,
rate
sure.
which seems
But, like,
reasonable.
at least he's got the big chunk of it out of the way.
Yeah.
Now we can sort of take it easy for the next
This
45
isn't
minutes.
quite 8 ounces.
No, I just drank out of that though.
Oh.
I've been pouring it slowly over 8 ounces each time,
Okay. Good.
which is
Good, good.
yeah.
So,
I did that with the water gallon challenge. And I ended up with 1 fewer cup to drink at the end because I over poured it by like
Nice.
so. It's
There you go.
That'd be nice.
so, like we
Oh,
said,
God.
why are human breasts
The way they
different?
are.
Why are they the way they are? The hypothesis, and this is really hard to test, is sexual selection. That large, full breasts imply a better ability to feed and nurture young, and so males like that, and we chose women with larger, fuller breasts.
For sure.
And-
for sure.
So, and as we, move on through the ages, large breasts were selected for. So,
Fair enough.
Like
here's a fun
Oh,
idea.
boy.
Here's a fun hypothetical. Now imagine we were birds, and instead of feeding our young
Oh,
through
no.
patches of skin, we fed our young by regurgitating directly into their mouths. Now also imagine that sexual selection played an equally important role in the development of us as birds as it does us now. We would most likely fetishize regurgitation to the same amount that we fetishize breasts.
I mean, there's a thing for that.
That already exists! I'm not surprised!
Of course there is.
Could you imagine though, like
But it would be like-
selling
it wouldn't be
cars
like
by
a-
having a woman like vomit onto it?
It wouldn't be like a private thing that you were scared to tell people. It would be like everyone would just be like, yeah, well, she pukes good though.
Oh damn! Damn, you see that girl? She's got a nice esophagus. Yo, I was dating this one girl. Oh my god, she was bad. The pH of her regurgitation was like 3.
Oh god. Yeah, you should stop there. You should have stopped before that. You should definitely stop there.
Now, is that better or worse than thinking about milk as modified sweat?
It's so much worse. Way worse. Sweat's whatever, man.
Yeah, sweat. I feel like I don't know. As a person who's not very
all
sweaty,
of the people here, you were like the
That's
most
true.
grossed out by sweat.
it's true, but I feel like I'm still less grossed out by sweat.
Yo, I'm
than
so
most people.
sweaty all the time.
Look at this. Look at this already.
Don't steal my milk. Don't control my limbs. I need to be in control of myself entirely.
This is great. I'm so excited.
How's
Did you
it going?
just finish your first?
No,
Okay.
this is the continuation of the first. So
Oh,
I'm
you
not
have
finished with my
finished
first.
So you're still working on that first quart?
Yes, I am.
This is so pathetic.
This is really hard, okay? I mean,
To be
Just-
fair,
just look at the sizes of our torsos compared. We couldn't normally do this on Scientifically Speaking, but here we are. Oh yeah.
yes.
We should maybe explain a little bit about the external.
No, yeah, because you want to take your shirt off.
So,
Right now, I'm going to give you a little close-up look at the external anatomy of the mammary glands. Right here we have
Is he allowed to do
two
that on Twitch?
prime examples
Take off his shirt.
I think
of-
he's not.
the human nipples.
Why?
Now, obviously these are male nipples, and we can't really, they're not quite the same as female nipples, but I'd say they're close enough. Basically what you're looking at here is this general area right here, this whole region is called the breast. This area here is the areola, not to be confused with the alveoli of the lungs, although they're both used as erogenous zones. And then this little nub right in the middle here, that's the nipple. That is where the milk comes from.
thank you for letting me show you my
No,
nipples.
Stop. Put those away. Mama Tavis is a proper conservative mother. You look
We're
like
dead!
you can still see her on nipples.
It's
Sweet.
good. It's great.
It's like a mirror in
Wonderful.
time.
I'm so happy that happened. Sort of.
Male nipples are purely decorative.
That's such a weird word to describe.
That is
a
the
body
word
part.
that the Live Science article used, okay? So,
Like that imply just it's like it implies that like some being was like, oh, this would look nice.
basically, why do men have nipples?
Probably because evolution missed.
Exactly. You want to explain what that means a little more?
Basically, you know, at some point, humans were developing nipples, and female humans were developing mammary glands, and the nipples were to get the milk out of the mammary glands, and there was no reason not to add nipples to both males and females, and so when that happened, probably by accident, there was no reason to take them off. There's no, like, any sort of pressure at all for men not to have nipples, because they don't affect them negatively at all. They're decorative. as
Exactly.
Greg said.
There's no negative selective pressure to get rid of the male nipple, so we still have it.
Only to make them look prettier,
One
Um,
of my friends at this one,
Maybe.
did
I don't
nipples,
know.
and I made fun of him for it.
big nipples, you said?
Like some men have, or some people have multiple, like more than two. In
Yeah.
fact, like a really large.
It's
number.
actually surprisingly
I've
large
heard
amount of
that
people
one
have,
in
like,
3
multiple
males
nipples.
has, like,
A
That's-
third nipple?
This is from the internet.
Anatomy.
It's from the internet,
Yeah.
so I believe it.
We have 4 people right here. Anyone have
My
a
dad
third
texted
nipple?
me, said, just saw you tweak your own nipple. Thanks. You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Are you proud of me?
Don't get the camera!
Let's look at this. Okay, we're talking about third nipples.
I was about to go
let's
over there
check in with our...
and bend down to put this away, and I decided that would not be a good idea. There would be no bending of my torso.
Let's check in with our heroes here. I'm doing terribly.
I'm pushing 72 ounces of the 128 total.
How much does a gallon of milk weigh?
That is an excellent question.
Ooh, good question. That's easily Googleable.
Yeah, fam, I got you.
Googleable. I got
That's
you, fam.
really fun to say.
Googleable. Googleable.
Google.
It's more like Bingable, am I right?
Leave. Just we're gonna continue the show without Dave. How's it going, Zach?
I feel okay.
So you're at past half a gallon, right?
Yeah, I got a fart, I think. But maybe poop, so it's kind of an unfortunate, what's the word? Development? Yeah.
I'm back. I came back.
How much does a gallon of milk weigh? Comes up before cost. And
That's
Maybe it heard you ask the question out loud.
Shit, man.
I do sometimes feel like I know that that's not happening. As a computer scientist, I know how difficult it would be to have anything be constantly processing all of the audio it got in the form of like identifying what people were saying and personalizing anything toward that. But also, I feel like it always is happening. Like, I constantly feel like I open my phone and I search something, and I'm like, the first result is the thing that I just asked out loud. Also, why would that ever be the first result? But somehow it's still happening.
Because humans
Like,
are all the
no,
humans are all the
magic!
goddamn same.
So
That
a,
might be
a
why.
gallon of milk, according to Google, weighs 8.6 pounds.
8.6 pounds.
so many pounds! And then you're gonna
And immediately
poop them
pee
all
and poop it out.
Oh, here's another fun fact. On Thanksgiving,
Just pour some back.
I wanted to not overdo it. On Thanksgiving, I started eating. So I had breakfast, right, and then I weighed myself. And I was like, let's have a challenge. How much weight can I gain in one day?
This is the kind of challenge that makes him a perfect candidate for the gallon challenge.
So I ate.
I also partook in this
He
challenge.
did. He
As
failed
did
miserably.
Colleen. It's not miserably.
Yeah. You did okay.
Compared to you.
I had dinner and gained like 4 pounds. And dessert and picked up another like 2. And then I was like, 6, why not 10? So I kept eating. I got
That's
to.
a huge jump!
So having had
Why not almost twice that?
having had breakfast that day, starting in a 12-hour span, I consumed enough liquids and solids to weigh 11 more pounds at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's... Well, this is gonna almost do that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, you gotta consider the weight of the light plastic. It's not dense at all.
Definitely don't
So
have
where are we
to
looking
say
at
that.
on time right now?
It is 25 minutes in a little bit, and I'm working on my way up to almost. It'll be almost 3/4 of the gallon soon.
Wow. See, now, so here's the thing, is that it's gonna seem like time's flying, and Zach's gonna get up to, like, completely done. He's gonna finish it in the next, in the next 25, 30 minutes. And then we're gonna have to sit here while he,
I'm gonna stand here.
well, we're gonna stand here while Zach proceeds to just try as hard as he can not to throw up for a full hour.
Honestly, he's already kind of there. He's just sort of rocking
I have
back
a
and forth,
question.
grimacing.
Yeah.
If you finish early, does the hour start then, or does it start at the end of an hour?
I would say it starts when you finish the gallon.
I think that's the case too.
Yeah.
You're shaking.
Yeah, I'm a little cold.
Oh,
I'm really nervous.
It's okay.
Alright, I exercised before this and didn't properly hydrate, and this is just confusing my body. I think
This is hilarious.
I'll be okay.
Let's do some breathing exercise to
That
calm
always
down.
makes me
Everybody
want to throw
just-
up.
Why?
What's your heart rate at?
A lot.
You check.
Oh, it says 67, but that is definitely not the case.
Just give it a minute to catch up.
It's definitely like 120.
His hand is shaking. It hasn't updated.
You can do this.
He's like twitching. Good thing we're on Twitch.
Hey, remember when we almost had like an audio bite of just all of us saying "Shut up, Dave" as like a thing that we played on our show?
Yes, I do. That would be awesome. We should still do that.
At 108.
Holy Lord!
Oh my god, it's really high. It's your
Really-
resting heart rate,
really
52?
nervous. That's what Fitbit says. The lowest I've ever seen on here just sitting around is like 58.
I mean, that's pretty low.
And that's like
for
sitting in
not being asleep.
hypercom.
Super calm.
That's like if I've been sitting in a car before.
Colleen was looking into it the other day, and it seems that like Fitbit won't like tell anyone how they calculate the resting
Yeah,
heart
some
rate.
bullshit
It's
calculations.
just sort of maybe just total bullshit.
It is.
Cool.
It's kind of stupid, to be honest.
But it's fun because you
Yes.
collect data about yourself.
That's another reason I do it. It's like a
Yeah.
novelty.
Exactly. It's great.
Fitbits.
I recently got an automatic, which is like a Fitbit for your car. You like stick it into the diagnostic port, and it like tells you all the similar things like your analog to how your car is doing.
Don't worry, Dad. The only reason I'm so far ahead of the game in terms of like, why am I only halfway through and almost at 3/4 of a gallon? It's because I started with a quart.
Right.
Right now, I can't at the rate I'm going, I can't drink it any slower and finish. So
As slow
yeah.
as you can be consuming milk. Good.
Want to go back to talking about male nipples? 'Cause we
I
got
know
some more-
you do.
We got some more fun facts for you coming your way.
Go for it, Dave.
Male nipples are purely decorative, except for when they're not. Apparently, in about 70% of boys during puberty, they develop
70?
breasts. 70%. 70% of boys during puberty develop breasts.
That's
So, if you're watching this and are a young teenager and a young teenage boy and start developing boobs and worrying, that's okay, you're not alone. That happens to 70% of us.
But it's still weird because you have boobs. What is going on?
Okay. So, Gynecomastia. That's the name of this syndrome. I don't know really. It's not like a disease. It just sort of happens.
Syndrome sounds like the right word.
Syndrome sounds like the right word. I'll take that. Basically, what this happens, what causes this is that it's an altered ratio of androgens, which are the male hormones, to estrogens, which are the female hormones. Basically, an imbalance of these hormones can cause men to develop breasts. Like actual
Temporarily,
breasts.
or they stay forever?
Depends. Sometimes
Okay.
it's for a long
Just
time.
seems like
Sometimes
such
it's
a weird
temporarily.
number. Are they not
Actually,
visible?
Gynecoplasty. No, they're like boobs. They're like real boobs.
You said 7D.
70%.
Zero.
Yes.
That's like more than what?
How is it that I don't think I've ever noticed a person with this?
I don't know. That was the article I got from Live Science, which is a fairly reliable source, I would say.
What are they defining boob as?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what volume of boob they're going with. That's like defined as
Because like
boob.
I had a friend in middle and high school who had like really pronounced nipples, and we made fun of them. So is that like what you're talking about?
Potentially. Seems like it could
Kira's
be.
really not into animal products, is she?
No, she really hates it.
She doesn't like meat or milk.
Yeah. She says
Not
milk
even for
weirds her
ethical
out.
reasons, just
One of our housemates is not watching this because milk weirds her out.
You should support
What?
jobs for cows.
I don't know.
What for cows?
Jobs.
Chops.
Jobs for cows. Good.
Yeah, same reason I go to Burger King.
So,
Fuck off, man.
certain medications can also cause men to develop breasts. Again,
But apparently it's not
Oh.
necessary because 70% of them do during puberty. Does it have anything? Is there any correlation between like obesity and
I
that?
have no idea.
Because
That's a good question.
maybe there is, and it's just that I didn't have very many obese friends.
That could be the
And
case.
so I just did. And if I did, you would not notice as much.
Yeah, it
or
would be
maybe
the-
like people who do that don't join the swim team. Because you don't see their
I
boobs.
mean, I guess.
So, not only can men develop breasts, men can develop functional breasts.
Yeah, that's worse.
Men can and do lactate.
Not bad.
There's a hormone called prolactin that women have, and basically it promotes milk production.
Lactation, prolactin.
Yes,
Curious.
yeah, it's really
Curious name.
straightforward. But when prolactin levels surge in men, we can lactate. Little dribbles of milk.
Do you have to have developed breasts first during?
That's a good question. I don't think so. Prolactin levels can surge, I think, without having fully developed breasts. Because
Meaning
the
that-
fully developed breast is more of just is less having a mammary gland. It's so the difference is that
Okay.
mammary glands are what produces the milk.
Right.
Breasts themselves are large lumps of fatty tissue that surround the mammary glands.
Okay.
It contains a duct that can. I don't really have any better way to describe it. This is about accurate. So, men can have functional mammary glands and produce milk without having fully developed fatty lumps of flesh on their
Okay.
chests.
But so
You can have both. You can have either. You can have none.
So most men don't have mammary glands. Or do you?
Do, but they're mostly non-functional.
Okay. Unless you get a lot of prolactin.
Unless you get a lot of prolactin, and then yeah. Because again, if there's no selective pressure to really get rid of them, they're small, mostly non-functional, sort of just stuck there. However, the Diac fruit bat,
Okay.
males of this species actively produce milk. Pretty often. We have no idea why.
Yeah, I'm struggling a bit. I'm starting to feel it.
Oh man. So what does it feel like?
So, my stomach just feels like really gurgly. and like filled with stuff.
Oh gosh.
And it's stretched. And like
This is how much is left. I don't know if you guys can see this plus a
Holy
little bit.
shit!
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but like also proportionately, it's pretty good. I mean,
This is like. Yeah, I've had 2/3 of a gallon.
2/3.
We're thinking after this challenge, Zach is never going to want to drink milk again.
I don't think it's gonna have any effect on
Yeah.
me.
It might change once you vomit up an entire gallon.
Yo, vomiting makes you feel amazing.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever gotten drunk?
Like, no.
Silly question.
It's all about the rebound.
Here's a fun
Yo.
question for everybody.
Yeah, I want to get input.
Would you rather have penis-sized nipples?
That's not what I thought you were
Or a
gonna ask.
nipple-sized
That's not what I want to get
penis.
input on. God damn it, Dave.
Please answer in the chat.
Okay.
What do you think, Shane? Would you rather have penis-sized nipples or a nipple-sized
I'm
penis?
gonna ask a different question.
No, answer the
So-
fucking question, Shane.
At the end of the 1 hour of retaining, I mentioned
Retention.
There we go. That's what I was wondering. So,
Abe Angus says, "I want both."
good. So I suggested that Zach might want to make himself vomit once he hits the 1 hour mark.
I feel
of
better.
retention. Good. Because
Like, how much
otherwise
better?
he's probably going to feel
Significantly.
terrible for the rest of the day, because it's going to take him another like 7 hours to
fully get all of this through, yeah.
get all of the milk out of his stomach.
And then, as we talked about in the digestion episode, most of his poops for the next day
Yeah, or
are going to be mostly liquid.
Yeah,
You're
Jeff's gonna have
going
some,
also-
for
some
the next
bad
2 days, you're going to
diarrhea.
be very much in danger of shitting
How
yourself.
close are we to talking about lactose intolerance, because that's going to play a role in his shits.
We can do that whenever you want.
So there's this. So lactose intolerance is interesting because it's not an allergy. So you can have a casein allergy, which means that your body responds to the milk protein as if it was some sort of antigen, like it was a bad thing for you. And then
Which
you
is a
have-
typical allergic response to, like,
yes.
when somebody says they have allergies, that's usually what that means.
Yeah, and so then you have things like hives, and your throat can close up, and all of those awful things that
Terrifying
normally
things.
happen. Like the same thing when you think of somebody having an allergic reaction to peanut butter or bee stings or anything like that.
Correct.
Lactose intolerance is actually different. Humans are supposed to be. Humans have evolved to be lactose intolerant after infancy. So when you stop consuming milk from your mother, most humans default to becoming lactose intolerant. Their body stops producing the enzyme lactase, which breaks down the milk sugar lactose in your stomach. And what that means is that milk sugar just goes through your digestive system, gets into your colon, and just completely screws with your ability to make solid poop. And so what you experience is like stomach pains and diarrhea, and that's different from an allergic reaction.
Typical allergic response. Yes.
Unfortunately for Zach, he doesn't have enough lactase to, even as someone who is not lactose intolerant, he doesn't have enough lactase to break down all of the lactose that he's consuming right now. And
Because
so,
it's a lot.
Because it's way too much. And so, pretty much no matter what, if he finishes this and doesn't immediately vomit all of the milk back up, and it goes in through his system, it's going to completely mess with his
I've got like
ability.
dried milk on my lips.
It's going to totally mess with his ability to, defecate properly.
Yes, most mammals, after they're done weaning, stop producing lactase and become lactose intolerant. It's actually far more rare for us to be lactose tolerant. Most of the world is lactose intolerant.
Right.
It's only in the Western world and other regions where we continually drink milk throughout our lives that we tell our bodies to continue to produce lactase and are lactose tolerant.
Right.
So it's actually more weird that we can drink milk.
And just as a sort of anecdote, when I was a kid, so my mom is lactose intolerant, which meant that a lot of times when we were at my house, lactate milk was the option, which is literally just milk without milk sugar.
By the way, I just finished my first quart.
Nice. Milk without
Kill
milk
it!
sugar, which tastes disgusting. But I guess it's fine if it's the only milk you ever drink. And so when I was a kid, we would drink lactate milk, which meant that my body just sort of stopped producing lactase because I never got milk, which is like the standard procedure is when you stop drinking milk. And so I became lactose intolerant. But I was sort of unaware of it, so I would like only for a long time didn't do anything about it and just like had, you know, like digestive problems when I consumed dairy. And then also at some point became aware of it, started taking lactate pills, but like always still consumed milk products. And at some point my body just remembered how to make lactase and started producing it again, and I completely grew out of my lactose intolerance and now drink a ridiculous amount of milk. For not everyone is that the case, but I'm pretty sure there is like a pretty heavy correlation between lactose intolerance and like not drinking milk for extended periods of time, especially in childhood.
Yeah, you can sort of attune yourself to being lactose tolerant. You sort of build up a tolerance.
3/4 mark, complete.
Woo! And we're
Is there a
only
correlation
39
between
minutes in,
breastfeeding
so-
and versus like bottle feeding and
Lactose tolerance.
lactose tolerance?
no clue.
Probably not.
I wouldn't expect there to be.
Imagine not,
Because
but
it's probably got the same milk sugars in both.
Yeah.
I know nothing about
Yeah.
anything.
So
big problems, I think, with formula feeding over breastfeeding are that, like, what's great about breastfeeding is that the milk changes constantly to the needs of the child because the mom is is firstly exposed to the same antigens that the child is just by always being with them. And so their body starts producing antibodies for those and then puts them in the milk and then gives them to the child, which is the coolest shit in the world. So, like,
which we already saw with the secretory substance that we put on our eggs before
Right.
we were mammals.
right. So, like, literally, like, mothers are, like, their immune system is protecting the infant after they've been born through breast milk.
Crazy!
Super cool. Which you can't do with formula milk to the same extent.
Yes.
I mean,
Another thing about lactose intolerance is that people who are lactose intolerant may actually be able to eat some dairy products such as yogurt or aged cheese because those things are more highly aged than like milk. So most of the lactoses are broken down during the aging process. So it's more likely that they'll be able to actually consume those things.
I'm going to eat gushers because I want gushers.
Can I have got this?
Yes.
Thanks for it.
Well,
Did you like that? Oh, they're like the Scooby-Doo kind.
How you feeling, Zach? You got
Uh,
3/4. You're 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah, my stomach's pretty full. It's like full to here, so I have this much room.
What are you gonna fill your esophagus? Good lord!
I mean, there's volume there.
Yeah, it's not, you're not supposed to have
No,
it
You gotta take
there.
advantage of what you got, man.
it was terrible.
Yeah, this is the worst.
Still trembling.
He's sort of like walking back and forth, sort of putting his mind off it. Like he's doing like the electric slide as he goes along. Sort of keep up my dances as you go. Yeah. Should we? We should. Yeah. I'm great dancing, by the way.
Clearly.
Oh, I feel like that one was an almost.
It could have been better.
So, what should we cover now? Oh no!
This is brutal.
We're going to talk about, like, the history of, like, humans
Sure.
drinking cow's milk.
Yeah, we can do that because it is pretty weird that not only do we drink milk, we
don't
drink the
human
milk of other things. Human breast milk is not like sold in large quantities at the grocery store. That would weird me out.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it's
weird
that
that would
irrationally weird me
Yeah,
out,
right.
but it would
It
totally,
totally
weird me out.
shouldn't, because
It
we're
should-
okay
yeah.
with drinking cow's milk, which is definitely weirder.
Definitely weirder. Who did that first?
I'm
Somebody.
assuming
It was a dare. It was obviously a no one's on it.
I feel like the most logical explanation is
Fact. I give you 5 rock to drink cow milk.
Maybe someone had like a baby cow acting as fetish.
Oh,
I think it's probably not that.
what if it started as a fetish? Oh God.
That's weird. Anyway, I feel like
The most logical explanation is we have infants and women feed them
with breasts, and it's really easy to observe cows doing the exact same thing. And someone was like, huh, cows do the same thing. Wonder if I can just get some of that milk for myself.
Right.
Or
Also-
maybe for like my
But
baby,
stop
because my
breathing on
wife
me.
can't
It smells like
sneeze or
Kool-Aid.
whatever.
With soil.
So, actually, that's a good point, because
On this side of Dave.
it does smell like Kool-Aid.
It's gushers. It's sugar and fake fruits and scent. Interesting.
Longer,
That's
but
what
same as the last one. It was like could have been better.
That's a good point. So, you look at a cow feeding its young, and potentially maybe they thought, well, we want milk, it's nutritious, it's not tainted like the water we're drinking because we haven't figured out fire yet.
Twists.
So,
Wait, someone accompany me at pee. We want to make sure this is
Got you.
legit.
alright, well then I guess I'll give you a little rundown on the history of milk drinking. I think you guys will be absolutely enthralled by this. We've actually been drinking milk for a really long time. We've been drinking milk since about 7000 BC, which puts us in about the Neolithic era. Basically, the rise of our
Earth is
actual
5,000 years old.
civilization. Shut up! That's not even funny! So, the reason we found that out is quite amazing, actually. We figured out that we were drinking milk for that long based on an analysis of a lipid residue found on ancient pottery. So, somebody found some pottery and was like, huh, there's some weird fat on this. They tested it, and it was milk. They were like, ha! Why would we put milk in jars?
I don't really feel any
Drink
better.
it.
He didn't vomit though, so that's good.
Good boy.
That's why I don't feel any.
I assume with the water you felt significantly better when you
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is different because all of the milk is still in your stomach, which is definitely larger than it was before.
Wow, it's like actually visibly, like noticeably sticky out of your.
Thanks for that, Dave.
You're welcome. I'm really good at science terms.
Gushers are awesome.
Stand on this side of me. So, yeah, you might end up getting gushers after this, actually.
That sucks.
We'll be fine with milk.
Bought a BK super pack of gushers, so
Not any better? Are these burps not doing anything for you?
get on that drinking.
They're helping me
Hey,
just a
shut
little
up.
bit.
I can't. It sucks. I
I
feel
feel
terrible.
like I don't understand. Do you actually feel terrible, or you just like don't?
I just
enjoy
I'm
the
not
drinking
like not.
part?
It's not. I'm not thirsty. I just don't really feel like my
You're
stomach's
drinking
kind of
anyway, it's the whole
full.
thing.
I'm like,
Try it.
eh.
Present beer.
Yeah, Dave, you think I want to drink this milk right now?
That might work.
I know. That's why I said it. That was
No,
not-
every time.
you did a
No,
terrible
literally,
job.
every time I like take a sip, and like I feel like I want to throw up. I'm like, this is too much liquid in my mouth. I don't like it. It's
That's
not
so
fun.
little liquid.
I
Did you
know.
finish your first quart though?
Yes, I did. This is my second quart.
So
So
now.
yes, it is. About a quarter of the way through, and I got about 14 minutes.
Probably should.
I'm going to lose.
I bet I can finish a quart before you.
Yeah, I bet you can, because I'm already sick of this. I quit.
But then I can catch up to you and beat you before the 14 minutes is up.
Show off. So basically, like I said, we've been drinking milk for a really, really long time. Initially, we kept these animals for meat, and then probably somewhere along the line had a fetish or a dare, and was like, huh, give me some of that. And we started raising cattle for milk. The origin of domestic cattle is actually the wild auroch, which are these absolutely fucking enormous cows. Like, they're literally, picture a cow, but picture it just really fucking big, and with, like, horns that are, like, 10 feet across. Like, stab you in the face kind of horns. Like, from 10 feet away. Yeah, I shouldn't do that to you. They're terrifying. Actually, Shane was talking about how the Nazis tried to bring them back
Yeah,
or
they were
something.
like super excited about aurochs, and they thought that they were like the Aryan version of cows. So they were like, all right, well, all the aurochs are dead, and all we have are cows. So let's just take like the meanest, largest cows and breed them, because that will be basically the same as bringing the aurochs back. And they ended up with these like super cows that were actually more dickheads than aurochs were, and were like, they weren't as big
but they were much, much like more muscular and way more aggressive, and like literally can't be kept in the same area as each other because they will
Jesus,
just
really?
they'll just try to kill each other.
Sounds like the perfect Nazi animal.
I'm gonna catch up to you.
Yeah, I know you are. I get it. I'm bad at this. I don't care. This is hard. And it sucks, and I don't want to do it, and I'm a little guy. Look at me. Look at me. This isn't me. Hey, at least I didn't slice off a tip of my finger.
That's not gonna bring back from this.
How you doing, Zach?
Not great.
How much milk do you have left?
We got 10 minutes, and we got about, let's see.
Finish the court.
He needs to finish another 24 ounces in the next 10 minutes.
What is it, 3 cups?
Really?
This.
That was a terrible idea. I feel awful.
All right. Now he only needs another. What's math? 16 ounces. So another 2 of these little things that he's got, and he will be all set. He looks terrible. I don't know if you can see this in here,
Brutal.
but this is.
I really, to be perfectly honest, I actually thought he was gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like.
might. But
No, the
this
problem is, see, I am fully confident that he could drink the gallon. It's the retention
Yeah.
that's the problem.
I'm good. I'm fine.
Shane feels like shit now, so
I feel
I
great.
feel great.
Screw you. It's fine. I'm fine. Just need to be Dave.
So, once we started drinking milk, people started dying because we're really fucking bad at eating and drinking things. We were really fucking bad at eating and drinking things before we figured out the germ theory of disease. So we didn't really realize that things in our food could kill us a lot.
It's like we would just take milk from cows and then leave it in open pottery jars on the table
In fact,
for like
between
weeks.
1912 and 1937, some 65,000 people died of tuberculosis that they got from drinking milk. And that was in England and Wales alone. So,
Dave's dad wants to know if Zach has any regrets yet.
I'm actually feeling a little better than I was a few minutes ago.
Okay.
cool, nice. And that's the last of the milk in the measuring cup.
Oh no! How did I do? This is something bad happened.
Oh, it's a couple drops. Which actually
Somehow I
might
ended up
make or break
behind.
you.
Weird. What?
Yeah, how? What happened?
possible? Maybe it's a shitty
You were-
measuring cup.
Yeah, it must be shitty.
Oh, yeah.
Blame
So-
the measuring cup. Yeah.
Rather than our measuring skills.
I'm
So-
beating Dave.
Congrats. Really, just
For the
fantastic.
record.
Really proud of you.
We got 9 minutes left.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose. So,
There's so much water in my
Basically-
stomach.
it took us a while to sort of figure out how not to die from drinking milk. And
This is the worst.
in 1864, Louis Pasteur, who was one of the main guys who figured out the germ theory of disease, invented a process that we now call pasteurization in honor of him. Basically, pasteurization
Reactions with my face.
is you got a little drop of water right
Oh,
there.
thanks. Okay.
Pasteurization is a really actually simple process. I never knew this. I thought pasteurization
Yeah.
was way more complicated.
Well, I didn't think it was complicated. I just thought it was more than this.
Pasteurization involves heating milk to 161 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. And that's it. That's the
Yeah,
entire
slow.
process. After that, milk is good for about 3 weeks. So, pretty simple. Although we also have some other things. I was learning about this on Wikipedia. There's some other methods of pasteurizing that aren't quite pasteurization, but still really interesting. There's one called ultra heat treating. Basically what this is it's processing the milk by holding the milk at a temperature of 284 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 seconds. Then after that, once it gets to the temperature, it's immediately cooled in a vacuum chamber
and packed in a pre-sterilized airtight container. This allows the milk to be stored unrefrigerated for several months. Why don't we do this?
Dash is also going to try to drink it for.
Why don't we do ultra heat treating instead of
Because
pasteurization?
people are cheap. Well, the real reason is because pasteurization is like enough, and it's probably more expensive than it's worth to do the other one. But yeah, it would be so much better.
Yeah.
Because then we could just buy a bunch of. Although I don't know, would it really you would just need like a large storage container for all the milk we were buying? It takes up so much space.
Yeah, that's. Although to be fair, being able to save it for a long time would have the benefits, like several months at a time.
Right, but think
Yeah, I
about how
guess
much
you're
milk
right.
you
Yeah.
would need in
Yeah.
order for it to be worth keeping for several
Yeah,
months.
that's
Like,
true.
currently, we buy, like, Colleen and I buy 3 or 4 gallons of milk with just pasteurized milk. And that lasts, like, 2 weeks.
Also, during this process, the milk is actually sterilized.
So how would sterilized? Well, sterilized means there are no pathogens.
Whereas pasteurization is like
Pasteurization is
99%, I think, or something
It's, yeah,
like that.
it's just like,
So,
there's
yeah.
just enough. But not completely done.
How you doing,
It's not
Zach?
done.
Right.
It's stronger than I thought it would be.
Yeah, Dash
Thank
just had
you.
like less than a third.
Oh, fuck you.
This is harder than it looks. Especially for him. But he's doing really well. We are down
Is that
to
it?
the last 8 ounces, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, damn!
He's got to finish 8 ounces in 6 minutes.
I think he does.
I mean,
It's the retention that's
Right,
gonna be
it's
it's
just
gonna be the
suck
issue.
for sour.
It's gonna,
I think he's gonna be fine. I think if he can finish that, he's gonna be okay.
he's just gonna have to like sit down for a long
Nope,
time.
not
Oh yeah,
sit.
not sit
Oh,
down.
no, not at all.
Just don't move.
Good lord.
It's pretty funny now. It's just like, this is the latest.
We're all really hydrated. We were wondering,
We're not really hydrated because this is all just gonna come out in pee. We're not gonna
Just
absorb any of this.
instantly out.
Okay, that was really easy.
Shut up! Everybody shut up, okay? I have a small stomach. You guys can all fuck yourselves. Your big ass stomachs. Fat asses.
Yo, my aunt got me a $25 Taco Bell gift card for
Oh,
my
yeah,
birthday.
Oh god.
It was glorious.
Did you do all that at once?
I spent $20.
That's
It
disgusting.
was so
Taco Bell is
It's
gross.
so hard to spend $20 on Taco Bell.
It's not hard, man. If you go outside of like the 2 to 5, where you lose the happy hour on grillers, it's like super easy because the grillers go up in
I
price
have no
by
idea
50
what
cents.
you're talking about. Been to Taco Bell twice.
I took a girl to Taco
Hey,
Bell.
maybe
once
let's
and she
not
was
talk
getting me
about Taco
things.
Bell. Hey,
It's like
Really
unbelievable.
shocking that you took a girl to Taco Bell and she didn't get anything. I'm so surprised.
hey, let's maybe
Stop
be a
talking
little
there.
sensitive to our buddy over here and not talk about Taco Bell.
That's fine.
Which is the We have 4 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. We have about
6 ounces.
6 ounces. Well, we've about gone through all that we
That was all the plan.
That was all the
I thought it was gonna take longer than it did.
we thought so too. We sort of maybe went through a little fast. I can rub my nipples for another half hour if you guys want. I just did that. Let's see, what did we miss? Sure we missed.
So when I get like the powdered milk,
Condensed milk.
condensed milk, yeah,
Yeah.
is that like?
Oh,
Oh,
so close. Well, thus ends the challenge.
super rough.
We have. That was absolutely impressive, though. That was 122 ounces in 56 minutes. So, very impressive.
Wow.
That was
Oh my
impressive.
God.
That was amazing.
He still
Got
so
through.
much milk in his
Basically,
stomach.
this is all that was left. Let me bring this up here. Got through all of the gallon except for this, so I'd say it's pretty impressive.
maybe.
Okay.
Feeling a bit better?
Dear God. I've never seen anyone vomit that much in my life.
That was.
That
You're so
sucks.
close! Dude, that was impressive anyway, honestly.
Final 122 ounces, final mark.
Oh,
Well, that
man.
smells like spoiled cheese.
That's exactly what I expected to smell like.
Yeah, for those of you watching at home, we maybe should have given you a warning that this could be gross. But
I
I think
feel
you
like you
should
should
have known.
have seen it
If
coming.
you're tuning in, you should have known!
Damn it.
Alright, how you feeling, buddy?
Fine.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel completely
Well, I have like milk vomit all over my face though.
yeah, a little bit.
Wow. Well, you know, on the one hand, that sucks, but on the other hand, we were out of things to talk about. So
Actually, I
it's sort
had
of
one
okay.
more thing.
What's that?
Colostrum.
Oh.
Really quick. Basically, late in pregnancy, women develop, and other mammals, develop this thing called colostrum. It's basically first milk. It's the first substance that they give
beat
to
Dave.
their babies.
Just saying.
Shut the fuck up. I have another
Like
minute.
14
I have another minute!
You're not even really Wow,
All I
he's
can-
going
All I
for
can smell
it.
is spoiled
I don't
milk.
want to do that, so.
It's all up in my nose.
Oh, this is the worst.
Damn.
worst! Okay.
We'll still beat Dave. For the record.
I quit.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm back to skinny again.
Wow. Holy shit! That is actually amazing. It really, his stomach is not
How much?
distended anymore.
Shit, I don't know how much milk I drank.
Probably almost none. Well, 400 calories about.
Right.
400 to 400. Oh, probably 480. Almost 500
Well,
calories.
time for lunch, I guess, right?
Oh, God.
Just I only threw up because they ran out of content, so I figured.
Right, of course.
We planned this really well, actually.
Can you guys smell the spoiled milk too?
No.
now
I
it's,
can.
it's in my nose.
It's in
It's
your
like.
mouth.
Oh, God.
Yeah, as soon as
I
you
couldn't
breathe
until I got
us.
near you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This has been probably one of the more exciting episodes of Scientifically Speaking. Maybe we'll do more video episodes in the future.
Yeah, we should.
I think so.
We should find ways to blow stuff up.
Yeah, I like that plan. Let's do that. Let's blow stuff up.
Let's find some cesium.
Well, it has been fun
Yeah,
for us.
Wait, don't leave yet.
Oh,
I gotta finish my milk.
Oh my god, what is wrong
You're
with
a
you?
Psycho!
What the? Okay, well, great. That's useless now. Good job.
Why drink so much water?
To get the
Well-
taste out of his mouth.
That one.
He pointed at you, but I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
So I think I finished a gallon of milk in an hour, but also threw up in the milk.
That is correct.
I think that counts.
It doesn't, obviously. So close. Okay, so I should just try it again when I'm like bulking, and then I'll be fine.
Gallon challenge round 2.
I'm glad you're up for another try.
I am amazed. Literally, never in my life have I vomited and then immediately been like, yeah, I'm gonna do that again.
That
Exactly what caused
again.
that. I'm gonna do that again at some point.
Really, you've never thrown up from drinking and been like,
I'm gonna go drink
okay,
again.
yeah, sure you haven't.
Well, I mean,
That's like how
Man,
you do
around like 100,
more like
110, 100 ounces or so, I like really felt terrible, like I was gonna die.
Yeah.
And I burped, and I was 100% okay. And then that last 6-8 ounces was just, there was no room.
There's no room.
There's just literally no
Not
room.
surprised.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's interesting. So, I mean, it's almost doable. If someone's slightly bigger than me, who's ate slightly more than me, aka me when I'm bulking, could probably pull it off.
well, I think that myth is plausible, as the Mythbusters would say.
plausible. I'm gonna not look at that. while you
Yeah,
take
that's
that.
gonna.
I'm
It's
gonna-
got the
I'm gonna
color of
cry.
the gushers is mixed in.
Oh, okay. Let's.
God,
Yeah,
what?
please
Why?
turn this off. I don't.
Sorry.
That's disturbing.
terrifying.
It's like pink. It's not red.
That's not okay.
It's fine.
Ooh, don't look at that. I'm gonna stand in front of it. Oh, wrong way. I forgot how this works.
So sorry!
What do I do with this?